What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the trades we ended up taking today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So, start of the day, this is what we look like. You guys know we ended up flipping bullish on the market yesterday, and we gauged this based off this chart right here. So, on SPY, we end up crossing on the Friday calls on the 30-minute. This is what tells us the trend in the market. Once we get this cross with the 50 turned up, that's when we have trend. We obviously got that on Thursday or Monday, my bad. On Monday, we ended up getting this cross, gapped up, and you can see what happened. We're just uptrending since then, and I would expect this to continue higher until we hit these higher time frame resistances. This 4-hour chart, I really am not too concerned about because it is quite flat. What I'm more concerned about is this daily 50. This is 100% going to be a strong area of resistance, so this is something you want to be looking out for going into the rest of the week. I know we have FOMC tomorrow, so I kind of will throw this off a little bit, but if we don't really do too much on FOMC, then you want to be looking out for these higher time frames. But yeah, going into today, bullish still. If we look on SPY, this is what I ended up taking. I actually took a loss on this, so if we pull up these 0DT charts here, 5-minute time frame. Actually, first let me go to ES because I was looking for a dip off of open right up in here to this level 69.81, the 78.6 mark on this fib, and we never got the entry, unfortunately, because we're bullish. I was looking for some sort of dip to buy at the 69.81. We never got it, and of course we just ended up ripping the rest of the day. So second opportunity is to take a call cross. So if we look on the calls here, 0DT chart, 5-minute time frame, we end up getting this call cross. I actually end up stopping out on this 30 points on NQ. I just didn't have a great entry on this, so with me being down 30 points and us being below the 50, I ended up cutting it before the candle closed. So that's what I ended up taking. I took this at 10.10. It was pretty much the top of NQ. I think I got filled on like 70, 71 on NQ. If we pull up NQ, this is what we looked like. So I ended up getting filled at 70, which was literally the top. So this pullback ended up stopping me out 30 points. I just didn't wait for the closure. Once you saw it, like NQ getting back above, honestly, could have started to scale back in, but I didn't. I just took the loss and went on with the day. So, yeah, that was the only trade I ended up taking. It didn't really give many points, though, because if you took this when we started across, at like 70, it only went up to 106. That's like 36 points. That's not enough for me to start taking profits. Even end of the day, we peaked at 114. That's like 40. It's not terrible, but that's just not the greatest move in the world. And you would have had to hold this the entire day. So yeah, this definitely wasn't, even though I stopped out, it didn't really give many points anyway. So that was that. That was the long setup for the day. Rest of the day, you can see, we didn't really have anything else to take. We ended up bouncing off this 50. Wasn't really interested in buying this. Cross negative and then just chopped the rest of the day. Like once we see this price action, I'm 100% done for the day. No need to be taking more trades on SPY when we look like this. But yeah, one thing is NQ, it has been respecting the fibs a lot better recently, and like the past week I've just been watching it, and NQ 100% respecting the fibs better, and this is gonna be something I'm gonna be taking into consideration when I'm looking at the fib levels like on ES and NQ. NQ just been performing better on the fibs, so going forward I may take like a trade off of NQ on these fibs. Like you could just tell, like we got this dip buy right up in here. You could see how well respected this was. We broke above this fib, retested it. Like this one up in here, not really one I would have taken, just because if you look on the 30-minute, we barely closed above, didn't really go much above it. So that upper fib initial test, I really wouldn't have bought this dip, but after we broke above, retested it, this is 100% a dip buy you could take. And you can see 42 all the way up to 114. Not the craziest move, but today we were moving pretty slow, so it's not too bad. It's like 60, 70 points, solid move off of that. But yeah, NQ fibs definitely been respecting better, and it's not always going to be like this. There's going to be times where NQ is respecting the fibs better than ES, and then ES respecting better than NQ. Like previously, like the other couple weeks, ES was respecting way better, and then now NQ's kind of taking the reins. So I'm just going to be paying attention to see which ones are respecting the fibs better, and kind of just trade that one. It just makes sense to do that, right? It's kind of like trading the stronger pair when it comes to longing and shorting. Like if you're going to be going long and NQ stronger than ES, you're going to want to take NQ. It's the same thing with the fib levels. If NQ is respecting them better, you're going to want to be taking NQ over ES. So I'm going to be definitely taking that into consideration going into rest of the week, next week, and just see how it plays out. So yeah, that's pretty much the day on ES and SPY. Going into tomorrow, still bullish, like I said. If we pull up the call side, I mean, I'm bullish until we hit these upper areas of resistance. This daily 50, like I said, sloped down super hard. If we pull up into this area and we're at some sort of fib level on NQ or ES, this is definitely going to be a short you'd want to take. I mean, this is massive, massive resistance. This thing is sloped down super hard. I'd expect some sort of initial rejection off of this before if it wanted to go higher, but with how this looks, I would favor this rejecting pretty hard. So definitely want to be looking out for that when we come up into that area. This 4 hour, I mean, right now it's not like too crazy. It kind of got a little bit of a curl down, but gonna have to see how we look once we kind of pop up in this area. If it's more flat, wouldn't be too worried about it. I would be more so concerned about this daily 50 up in here. So that's definitely going to be what you're going to want to look out for if we come up into that area. Definitely wouldn't be like heavy in longs, definitely be out of longs by then if you're any swings, but yeah, that's kind of the plan going into tomorrow. Any sort of long, 5-minute cross, fib level to dip by, and yeah, very simple game plan. And then we ended up taking some swings, which I'll go over. I'll give you guys some new names to watch over the next couple days and what we ended up taking. So first one, Wolf. I think I went over this yesterday. I don't really remember, but yeah, very nice swing trade. All these setups are kind of the same exact thing. That's the good thing about it. It's very simple to understand, and it's very repetitive. So first things first, I just saw the setup forming on the daily. Very nice setup. We're kind of just consolidating, pulling back here to moving averages, and then we put in this high on Thursday, and I was looking for a simple break above this high to take an entry, and I actually didn't enter on this day. I saw the setup afterwards. So after this daily chart closed, I saw it. I'm like, okay, if this gets some sort of dip the next day, I'll definitely take an entry. So we pulled back on Monday yesterday, and I took my entry somewhere around this previous day high, and look at the move today. We got a nice bounce into close yesterday, and then we're up 11% today. Very nice move. I mean, I ended up trimming like a little bit over 50% of this position. Today we're up like 55%, I believe. So this chart really nice, very simple, and we held this for like 2 days, and yeah, really nice setup that we ended up taking. I mean, I could see this running up into these highs, 16 to 17. Even like the higher time frames look pretty good. This weekly chart is setting up nicely. Maybe we'll break out to new highs on the weekly. That'd be beautiful. But doesn't really matter what happens from here. Go and break even on the rest, and we already took our trim. So Wolf, really nice setup. Another one was APLD, which I think I already went over, but I have a small runner left on this. And the next one, APLD, this is one we ended up taking on Friday. Again, it's the same sort of setup. We're kind of consolidating, pulling back to moving averages, creating this like flag of some sort, and we just enter on this previous day high. I don't think I went over on the last one, but we take this on the 5-minute. Once we break above the high, take our entry, and yeah, took my entry right up in here. Honestly, not the best entry in the world. It was a little bit extended, but a lot of the times when we get these breakouts, we get very explosive, and sometimes we don't even get the pullback. So if anything, you could scale into this. But I just took my full position here at this high, and yeah, we just continue to ramp and just rip. So from here, my stop loss was most likely gonna be if we end up breaking below like the moving averages here, just because, I mean, at that point, if I hold longer than that, risk reward's not going to be there. But yeah, that was our trade. Very nice, and we ended up getting a little bit of a pullback yesterday. Right up in here, and then today it's up like 15%, making new highs. It's like over 100%, I believe, right now. So yeah, I only got one runner going. I trimmed most on yesterday, and this high right up in here, like around 70%. So yeah, APLD, very clean, very textbook. See what else we got. So CRML is actually one I took a re-entry on. I already took this, then re-entered. So first trade, I'm gonna get rid of this for now. First trade was this breakout right up in here. We had this little consolidation going, pulled back, and I took the break over the previous day high once again. This previous day high right up in here. Got a closure above on the 5-minute. Next day it pulled back a little bit. I was down like 25%. My stop loss was going to be this low a day. A little bit of a wider stop, but yeah, we never ended up hitting that stop loss. I think I was down like 25% on that pullback, and then you can see we ended up going higher, gapped up a little bit on Monday, and unfortunately this just dipped, and I got stopped out, break even on the rest. I think I got like 45-50%, I believe. But yeah, we had this nasty candle. I mean, this was up like 6% pre-market, 7%, and I didn't even get a chance to sell it because it just dumped, like immediate dump for some reason right off the bat. So that was unfortunate, but we're back in this, and it's very simple. So all I'm doing is playing this uptrend right here. I mean, you can see It's very low risk on this trade just because we're playing this uptrend and we're pulling back to moving averages. My stop loss is if we close under this uptrend right here. So took our entries probably somewhere around like $17. We were right on the day, and yeah, I mean it's a very, very tight stop. Risk rewards in my favor. So yeah, if we lose this uptrend, I'll close it. I'm gonna try and ride this to new highs up in here, but obviously scale it along the way. Once I'm up like 45-50%, trim half, move stops to break even, and then just ride the rest. I'd love to see this 22.39 up in here trade to take a lot off at, but we'll see how that ends up going. One of the names you could keep on watch, Galaxy. I mean, this was a nice setup you could have honestly taken today. I mean, daily chart, very clean. Again, large move up, pulling back, consolidating to the moving averages. We get a nice closure above previous day high right up in here. And once we break that high, you could have entered on the 5-minute. I mean, this probably wouldn't have been anything close to take profits yet, but you can see we end up closing above this high right up in here. Take your entry, and then we got a nice little continuation move, got a little bit of a dump, and then recaptured. Looks good to go higher. This is just one I'm not taking. I'm not in this, but it's just another example of the setups that I take, and give you guys more examples to look at. What's another one that I like? CLSK Clean Spark. This is setting up nice on the daily. I mean, look at this. It's got a nice consolidation forming here. If we break above this high, Monday's high, I'd be open to taking this. It's just a lot closer to the trend line, so playing a little bit safer going with this day high instead of this one, because we kind of go up, reject, and come back down. So CLSK definitely one going to be keeping on watch. Weekly chart doesn't look anything great. BBAI is definitely one you want to keep an eye on. It's not really breaking out yet. Weekly chart consolidating a bit. This could definitely lead to a massive move. I went over this yesterday that if we end up breaking above this high, you could kind of take an aggressive entry, go with this break of the high, and if we come up in here and you kind of just move your stops to break even once we test that upper, not the upper, but once we test the trend line, you kind of go break even, take some trims if you want, and see if it does break out past that, because we kind of have like a little, consolidation break right up in here. I mean, you can kind of just see it, like this little break up in here. But yeah, this is your more aggressive entry. If we do go higher, break of, probably, this high right up in here would be solid. Kind of lines up with that trend line, so we get a nice closure above. It'll probably end up breaking out. So that's kind of the level you want to watch. If we don't break out tomorrow, then you'll be using that new previous day, higher day, depending on where we go tomorrow. So BBAI definitely you want to keep on watch. Trying to see what else we got, which other ones. I mean, RKLB, nothing too crazy here on the daily, just pulling back in, moving averages, kind of forming this flag. Nothing to really take an entry off of yet. Like, I'm not going to use this previous day high. It's not close enough for me to take it. So another like day or two probably will need on that. Let's see. I think LAES wasn't too bad on the daily. Let me see what this is looking like. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a setup on this chart. It just looks nice on the daily, pulling back to the moving averages. If we get some sort of setup breakout we could take, that'd be something I'd be willing to take, but nothing yet. Riot has like a nice look to it. Pulled back to the moving averages today. Like this is one I'd take. Previous day high entry if we break above this high. Looks solid. Yeah, I mean FOMC is tomorrow, so these aren't gonna be. I wouldn't be holding these through FOMC for sure. Like definitely would not be doing that. Not a smart move, but these are just some names I'm watching. Course, I went over this already. I didn't take this, but definitely a clean trade. Again, same thing. Large move up, pulling back to the moving averages, consolidating, get this break of the high right up in here. And then you enter on the 5-minute. I think this actually gapped up the next day, I believe. I think. Let's see. If you took this. See, like this entry up in here is like it's a bit extended. I mean, when we're extended like this from the moving averages, you could definitely just wait for a pullback if you want, or take half of the position here, take half here, and then just ride it. And this was a bit choppy right up in here, but did end up playing out. I mean, it's ripping nicely so far, and we got some nice continuation today on that name. So yeah, those are some names, some examples of how these breakouts work. GME, I went over this I believe yesterday, but I think this is gonna get some continuation here. It broke out of this downtrend right up in here. Your ideal entry would have been this break of the previous day high, but we did gap up and it kind of retested it. So if you wanted to take that retest, you could have. But yeah, GME went over this last couple of days. Solid looking setup. Looks good on the higher time frames as well. Weekly breakout right up in there. And then the monthly probably also looks solid. So I mean, monthly is kind of just consolidating, so definitely would look to be scaling out once we get up into like these monthly opens up in here. If we somehow get to 27, we could definitely be trimming off. But yeah, those are some good setups, some examples of how these breakouts work, and that's pretty much all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, go to the Discord down below. That's where I post all these charts, all these trades on the system. So yeah, that's the place to be if you want to learn. I'm out. Peace.